Hey everyone, welcome to the Rebellious Garden. My name is Laura and I'm so glad you're here today. Today is part 2 of the day in the life of a part-time flower farmer series. This is part 2 of the, I guess you could say, like mid to late winter weekend. It is Sunday and I am getting ready for church and I'm running behind as per usual, but it's okay, because we're still going to get there and we're not going to be late when we get there. I am making my coffee that I have lovingly called the Honey Badger because it's made with honey. Trying to find a straw. So then I showered. I've turned on one set of grow lights. I need to turn on the other set, and yeah, just pretty much gotten the kids up and getting them ready for church as well. Coffee is important. Everybody's eating. My husband has to work, so he will not be joining us. But yeah, so I'm going to finish making this and I'm going to drink it on the way to church, and I will see you when we get back from church. Lights on. Alright, we are back from church. We made a quick pit stop at the grocery store on the way to pick up a couple things that I needed. And now I'm moving my bucket of dirt. I'm coming out to the laundry room, which is where our freezer is, to grab some, ooh, my hair has a mind of its own today, to grab some meat out of the freezer for de-thawing. I need to set it out to de-thaw for supper. And I'm just looking out at the garden. I'm definitely going to have to go pull some of those tulips. Cool thing about tulips is when I pull them, I can stick them in the fridge, and weirdly enough, with the bulb still attached, and they'll keep for about a month, because I want to try to save as many as I can for the farmer's market coming up. So I'm going to do that. But first, I'm going to pull out some meat so it can be de-thawed for supper. Pork chops. Have no idea what I'm going to make with them, but I'm going to make something. But for now, set them out to just naturally de-thaw. Go set them in the sink. So, husband and daughter have gone to work, so I'm going to fix a little nibble for my son and I, and then we're going to venture outside. I want to take the row covers down because temps are supposed to stay above freezing for the next week. So I'm going to take the row covers down so the plants can get plenty of unfiltered sunshine. And it's not supposed to rain this week, so I'm going to, and the temps are supposed to be like in the 60s during the day. So I want to be able to easily water them at least once. And then I'm going to get some dahlias started today. So that way I can take some cuttings and also go ahead and get them started so I can get them planted out and growing pretty early. One thing that I forgot to do before laying down for bed last night was to turn these upright so the water that collected in the rim could drain out. But it looks like most of them dried overnight, so what is dry, that one's not, I'm gonna stack and put back up for storage and start using them for the tulips. Cool. I had quite a few I can put up. That's good. So, oof. I'll clean off the counter just a little bit. I had to check the weather because I didn't think it was supposed to rain today, but it looks rather rainy outside. But it says there's like a 10% chance later this evening, so that either means we're going to get a whole lot of rain or absolutely nothing at all. Alright, so I'm out here at the garden. I'm going to get everything uncovered, and I'm going to pull weeds for a few minutes and then head over and start, I get the hiccups, I'm sorry, start Oh, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, dahlias. I was gonna go ahead and get the dahlias planted. I think I'm gonna start pulling those tulips too, because they look pretty close to ready. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get these pulled. Sweet peas are coming in nice though. Can't be mad about that. All these tulips. This whole line is full of tulips. And then this whole bed is full of tulips. I have several of these heading up too. And then I have random tulips where I had them planted last year. I have random ones popping up, so I'm just gonna leave them, see what they do. It really does look like it's gonna start pouring any second. I mean, I won't complain. I prefer the Lord's water over tap water any day when it comes to the garden. But so here is my squirrel moment of the day. The weather is nice. It's gonna be in the 60s. Heck, I was looking at the forecast a while ago. It's supposed to be in the 60s all week. And then on, I think it's Wednesday, it's supposed to be in the 70s. And on Thursday, it's forecast to be 84. And then it's supposed to drop back down to the 60s. But I'm gonna go ahead and plant out a few of my Rudbeckia. They do not mind cooler overnight temps. So I'm gonna get a few of these planted out. This is some of my leftover status that I see a couple spots where some of my status has died. So I might plug these in to a couple spots in the ground. And then I'm gonna plant out some Triloba, some Goldilocks, and then Indian Summer. Indian Summer is some of my favorite Rudbeckia, which is also Black Eye Susan. So I'm gonna get these planted out, and I don't really plant them in like one singular area. I just kind of plant them throughout the garden because I've noticed that aphids like to come to the Rudbeckia as well. And so usually, I think last year I had a total of 20 plants out here, and they attached to 3 of them, and the rest of them were fine. So they're kind of like a trap plant in my garden. So I just space these throughout the garden. So let's get to planting. Hey there. There's always puppies sitting at the door waiting for me. Hey darling. So what I'm gonna do next is start getting the dahlia set up, and I have to refresh myself. I have another puppy. I have to refresh myself on exactly how to do that because I've never done it for cuttings. I've just simply planted it to grow. So I'm going to look up real quick from a class that I took last year. I'm gonna go back and rewatch real quick how to do the cuttings, and then I'll get started on that. And of course, as I'm walking around getting ready to look that video up, I see a pile of weeds that are driving me nuts. So another squirrel moment. Gonna pull them. Better. There's still some there, but it's better. I usually walk outside every couple days and pull the weeds. They mostly go right along the edge. So I'll be doing that for the next few days. My annual dirt manicure. I keep this throughout the season. Let's go wash our hands. And we can never forget the laundry. Oh, nice. Oh, sense. the weather is supposed to be a little bit warmer this week. I'm going to go ahead and give the seedlings that I just planted a good watering. Give everything out here a good watering. And I'll probably do it again on Wednesday. Yeah, because it's supposed to be pretty warm Wednesday. So do it again on Wednesday. Hopefully that'll tote it through Thursday. And then we're supposed to get some rain this weekend. And that way I'll do minimal watering, because we have to pay for our water and it's very expensive. So do minimal watering and the seedlings get what they need. All right, it's 4:15. I have just finished watering. It took me about an hour to get everything watered. I was doing it by hand. I normally use a sprinkler, but just decided to do it by hand since it wasn't too much. So now I'm going to get started on the dahlias, and I need to get some seedlings going tonight as well. So before starting any seedlings or starting my dahlia tubers, I have to clean all of my trays and all my equipment. Make sure it's sanitized correctly. Union required coffee break. Yep. Oh, I'm frustrated. I want to go start my dahlias for the season. And this is my first time really saving tubers from last season, like keeping them stored in the house. And I just opened the container and I lost all my tubers. Completely covered in mold. They're mushy. Frustrating. So I have a few that I bought because I want to introduce a new variety each year. So I have a few that I bought, so I'm going to start those and definitely take cuttings from those so I can expand my stock, especially since I just lost all the ones that I saved from last year. And I guess I'll spend a good portion of the evening trying to find tubers like the ones I had from last year. There was one that I had called Emery Paul that was absolutely gorgeous. And then the Cafe au Lait. God, that's frustrating. Try not to cry. Dahlia tubers are very expensive. They're very, very expensive. A single tuber can run anywhere from about $8 to $25, $30 a piece, depending upon how special that tuber is, like how rare it is. And when you get custom bred varieties that someone has spent years and years and years breeding to get like just a perfect flower, those are expensive. I don't have very many of, I didn't have very many of the really expensive ones. My Emery Paul was probably one of my more expensive ones, and the Cafe au Lait. But I had some really pretty ones, and I had some that I had saved that I had grown from seed, and that were just absolutely beautiful. So I guess I'll spend a good portion of the evening now trying to find some dahlia tubers, because they're usually sold out because most people are starting to plant them out this time of year. So most of the tubers are already pre-sold, but we'll see what we can get our hands on. So 'tis the life. And I'll try to figure out what I did wrong with my storage. I followed all the instructions. So I'll spend some time this summer educating myself on that. So when fall rolls around and I dig my tubers up, yeah, maybe I won't lose them again. And I don't have to dig them up. Where we're at in Eastern North Carolina, we don't have to dig them up, but it's good to dig them up every so often and split them so they don't like just get too clumpy right there where they're at, too overgrown, and also to check for any disease and stuff in the soil. And just in case you have something like we had, like the Arctic blast, which is very, very rare to happen, but if I would have left them in the ground, I would have lost them because our ground was frozen solid for several days and I would have lost them. So looks like I lost them anyway. Oh well. All right, I'm gonna go inside and get started on the ones that I have already bought, and then I will do some research tonight, see what I can find to replace the ones that I have now lost. Here I am just getting the dahlias laid down into the dirt so they can start rooting and grow some leaves for me to take cuttings of. Balancing act at hand. Cleaned grow rack off. Putting seedlings on grow rack to start hardening off. Broccoli and cauliflower. Lowest overnight temp for the next week is 47. They'll be perfectly fine. Just have to keep them watered. And I'm going to start selling these seedlings off. I was going to save them for the farmer's market, but I think I'm going to post them for sale this week because I need the space. And now I am just loading up the outdoor grow rack with all my little seedling transplants. And just moving around some of the plants on the grow rack inside. Mixing up some soil and water for the soil blocks. Mix, mix, mix. Adding some more dirt. And here I am making soil blocks. That way I can get some more seeds started. Beautiful, beautiful soil blocks. And the tedious task of putting seeds in the soil blocks. There are 100 soil blocks per green tray. This is where I have all my seeds organized into the little photo holders, and I'm just kind of digging them out and deciding what seeds I want to start next. That would be lettuce that I'm starting right there. And prepping barbecue pork chops for supper. I always try to cook extra. That way I have enough for lunch for me for work the next day. Putting some soil on top of some of the soil blocks for the seeds that require a little bit of coverage for growth. Alright, last tray for tonight going in or going on the grow mat. So all the lettuce I started, collards, more collards, sweet William, dahlias, tomatoes, Carolina Reaper and cayenne peppers, straw flowers, and petunias. Tomorrow I will get to the parsley, the dill, and the cilantro. So it is 7:30 and I just realized that I need to water these seedlings outside before it gets too much more cold. It's just not really that cold. It feels warmer now than it did earlier when I was outside working, which is weird. Ooh. We're just bottom watering these. And that way the plants will soak it up through the holes on the bottom. You can kind of, there you go, holes on the bottom. Sorry for the poor camera quality, but it's dark out. But yeah, so I'll check these each night, sometimes in the morning, just to see if they need water, because I'll actually use water faster outside, not so much because of the temperature but the wind. So yeah, just gonna keep doing this. All right, so I wrote on my church bulletin, sorry. I wrote on my church bulletin my to-do list. So I'm just kind of going through and marking it off. I'm still working to edit the video from yesterday. Prep for week. Haven't done the rest of it. Some of this will get done tonight. Some of it will get done tomorrow. So I've gotten the kitchen cleaned up, or not the kitchen, but the where I was doing seed starting cleaned up, and I had not come out yet to do my nightly check before sunset. So it is dark. There's your nighttime view of the garden. I usually have twinkle lights. Oh, I do have one twinkle light lit up. One of my twinkle lights isn't lit up because of the, we didn't have enough sun today. But my little lantern here is lit up. I have to shut tea. I love it. It's so pretty. I love solar lights. But this is why I come out to the garden, because oftentimes I leave the gate open when I'm working. So I don't want cats coming in, destroying my garden again. That would not be good. Sorry about the camera. I say that a lot. But it looks like, just want to double check, make sure everything got picked up that needs to be picked up. Beds will stay covered for the next week, at least, if not longer, because temps are staying above freezing. So I'm happy about that. So I'm gonna go back in, switch out the laundry, and then finish fixing supper. Forgot to show you the final product, but barbecue pork chops, rice, and broccoli. This is actually my lunch packed for work for tomorrow. But I have cleaned up the kitchen and letting the final pan of pork chops cool off before putting them in the fridge. It was 11:30. I've done a lot. I have watered all of the seedlings. The lights are turned off on the grow rack. So I've watered all the seedlings. The lights are turned off on the grow rack. I've done 2 more loads of laundry. I have folded laundry. I have pulled out the seeds that I want to start tomorrow, and just kind of started working on my to-do list for tomorrow for both work and for home. So yeah, that's what I've been up to, and I forgot to record, but it's okay. Just a quick rundown gives you an idea. So like I said, it's 11:30. I'm going to pull out my computer, work on the same document I was working on yesterday for a little bit, and then I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to try to relax for a little bit and hopefully drift off to sleep. So this was the day in the life of a part-time flower farmer, mid to late winter, Sunday edition. It's a mouthful. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to try to do a little bit better about capturing my days, but not letting the video be quite as long, just more like little snippets instead of me just running my mouth half the time. So I'll try to do better. So definitely please check back in the future for those videos. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're able to rest well tonight, and I hope you have a blessed day. And please come back to see me again. Good night.